Hello, guys. Welcome to episode 28 of HQ Live, the show for the fans by the fan. I'm Phil Beasley. You can follow me on Twitter at underscore ATL Phil.
I'm Brett Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Brett_A27.
Yeah, so make sure you guys follow the site, atlsportshq.com. Head there daily for the latest in ATL Sports. Also, follow us on Twitter at ATL Sports HQ and our every sports team in the city. We have specific accounts for them. Follow our Instagram. Make sure you like and share and subscribe on YouTube and iTunes. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends. We might give you a little something if we see that you're subscribe and like, and maybe give you some Braves ticket or something. But also, we're looking for writers and contributors in any way. So give us a shout, and we'll get you hooked in to the greatest thing in Atlanta sports, the site for the fans, by the fans. But let's jump right into it. Everybody knows what's the hot story right now. That's NBA free agency. Over $3 billion worth of contracts have been handed out in the first 4 days of free agency. I will say four because even though it wasn't supposed to start until 6 o'clock on Sunday, the Kevin Durant deal and many other major deals were announced before 6 o'clock. Let's talk about the winners of free agency so far. Who do you have as the winners, Greg?
Oh well, I guess it's pretty easy to say Brooklyn, uh, but I'm just gonna mess this obvious, but I'm gonna go with Utah. I feel like the Bogdanovich deal was going to be a much needed addition for them. It could potentially put them will make them a contender. They already acquired Mike Conley, and they have a really good offseason so far up to this point. But again, I guess but again, another thing aside from this Brooklyn, they also got Kevin Durant and a first round pick because of that weird sign and trade. That just blew my mind. So Brooklyn's having had a great offseason, and it turned into an even better one. I don't know how, but they did.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy what Brooklyn. Uh, if you think 4 or 5 years ago, they were in basketball hell after that Celtics trade went away. They had like no draft picks. They were over the cap. Nobody wanted to play there. They won like 20 games. Then they get the young coach out of Atlanta in Kenny Atkinson, and
Mm-hmm.
he seems like the players really liked him. They've rallied around him, and they've made some really good trades up there. And now they cashed in, and it's paid off. They're going forward going to be one of the best teams in the East for the next several years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what a great place to play. It's Brooklyn, it's New York. They actually have competent owners and runners. So yeah, sorry Knicks, we hate you. We hate Knicks fans. So
Yep.
I mean, I was happy to get these jokes off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely, I have to agree. Brooklyn definitely a winner. I'd consider Philadelphia a winner too.
Yeah.
Yes, you lost Butler and JJ Redick, but I didn't really like the fit.
But I don't have that fit either.
Even though he probably was their best player in the playoffs, Joel Embiid can't really stay on the court. But man, did they get an insurance policy and well, a starting four now,
Mm.
and our good friend Al Horford. Um, it's an overpay, but Philly's championship window is now. They're going to be one of the top 3, 4, 5 favorites next year, especially if Kawhi leaves Toronto. If he goes to the Clippers, they might be like the second favorite. I
Mhm.
really hope if he does leave Toronto, he goes to the Clippers. Make it
Yeah,
balanced. The NBA
yeah.
is going to be very exciting next year. But we'll touch more on Kawhi in
Mm.
a minute. But also, of course, like you said, Utah has to be a winner, and then you know the winners also are the players who are getting paid at the high levels once again, almost like it's
Mhm.
2016.
It's
Only
ridiculous.
two teams with cap space left, so
Mhm.
it's really interesting. There's some decent players still out there, but not everything is peaches and roses. So we have
Mhm.
to talk about the losers too. Um, who would you have as some of your losers?
Well, I mean, I know we'll talk about this later, but the Suns, I really have no idea what in the world they're doing. So, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But for me, I don't really know. I mean, the I know that Heat got Jimmy Butler, but I just don't know what they're trying to. I don't know what they're doing down there. But Pat Riley is just playing with like no salary cap on right now or something. I mean, they're I don't know what I would consider them a loser either. But see here who would be a loser. I guess you can kind of go with Indi- Indiana in a way because they got Brogdon, but they lost their best player from the playoffs and Bogdanovich. It was an irreplaceable player. I mean, there's aren't too many losers besides the obvious ones.
I have an obvious one.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Indiana there had to be a choose one. I mean, Brogdon and Bogdanovich are both really good players, but Bogdanovich was just such a big player for him down the stretch, and he fit perfectly beside Oladipo, and Oladipo was healthy. So that's who I would go with.
I have a good one. Charlotte.
Oh yeah, I think yeah, Charlotte.
3 years. What was it? 58 million for
Yeah, Rozier.
Terry.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
that's bad.
And then you let Kemba go. I'd say, I mean, who else is ever gonna come to Charlotte? You might as. I don't know. I don't get it. I would have just gave Kemba the money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think he wanted to be there. That was his city.
Good.
You know,
He offered them a discount. They went below the discount. The offer.
yeah. So I couldn't. I don't know. But then why just bottom out? Don't overpay for an inefficient um, point guard, undersized. I don't get that one. Michael Jordan, you have not been good at this. You know, they've made the playoffs twice. I don't think they've won a playoff game. I think both of the times they got swept. Maybe they won a few. I think no, actually, I think they took Miami to seven. I know that first
Yeah.
time against Orlando, they didn't win a playoff game. So they need the old Hornets back. They
Mm-hmm.
got to lose the team a second time if they don't get their stuff together. Good fans up there in Charlotte, though. Let's see, of course, the Suns. We don't even have to touch on them again. And then if we're talking about free agency, well, of course, the Knicks. We can make fun of the Knicks again.
Yeah, we can.
But I have to say, if Mr. Leonard doesn't go to um, the Lakers, I got to consider them a loser. You know,
Yeah,
the market is
true.
drying up. They have to pretty much make their roster after they traded away half of it in the Anthony Davis trade. So, I, who are they going to get? You know, LeBron and Anthony Davis,
Yep.
just those two. Honestly,
Yeah.
in this day and age, is that better than Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins was?
No.
They don't have a point guard. They don't have a team around them. So I don't think so. They're hinging heavily on that Kawhi Leonard decision. Speaking of Kawhi Leonard, this is starting to drag out, but it's only July 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
The decision, LeBron the first time, that wasn't until about July 10th when he went back to Cleveland. That drug out several days. Of course, last time was fast. I mean, LeBron, I think we all knew he was going to LA, and it was for non basketball reasons. I think everybody's
Mm-hmm.
in agreement with that. But so supposedly Kawhi flew was it from LA to Toronto today, right? And then
Yeah. Yeah.
the cameras and stuff were following him like he was a president. And
Mm-hmm.
then Lakers fan, of course, because Lakers fans, the sensitive crybabies they are. We're talking about the most storied franchise in NBA history, and they act like a bunch of whining little sassies. Um, so they were like, "Oh, look at this! This wouldn't happen in LA." Y'all made billboards and stuff. Y'all had a fan protest. Y'all
Yep.
made billboards and were camping out about Dwight Howard staying. No disrespect to Dwight Howard, but come on, y'all didn't even like him. Um, Now, Lakers fans are the most obnoxious bunch, other than the Knicks fans.
Mm-hmm.
As for Kawhi Leonard, you know, all these people are saying they got scoops on him, all these rumors and stuff. This is Kawhi Leonard. The only person who knows what Kawhi Leonard is going to do is Kawhi Leonard,
Mm-hmm.
even if he knows what he's going to do. But supposedly he's in Toronto. He probably met with the Toronto's brass earlier today. Um, Hopefully, a resolution will be coming soon. Hopefully, right here, right now on this show. Nope. Okay. if it's me, I hope he stays in Toronto or goes to the Clippers. I don't want him on the Lakers. I want to enjoy the NBA where I'm like, whoa, whoa, I have no clue who the hell's
Mm-hmm.
going to win this year. We haven't had a year like that forever. Like, who would be the favorites if he stays in Toronto? Would it be Toronto? Uh, it'd be, I can't even think of somebody else. Milwaukee? I can't even think of another team I'd say, yeah, they're the favorites if he stays in Toronto.
Yeah, I gotta go. I mean, Utah is again. Utah will be a team you throw out there from the
Yeah,
West.
that's a small markets.
Yep. Denver's another one that they're kind of like the 61 Hawks from a few years ago. They don't have, well, they got Jokic, who probably would have been the best player on that team, but he's a top player in the league. But again, they just got a good surrounding core. They just gel perfectly together. But yeah, back to Kawhi. Yeah, like you said, I don't want to go to the Lakers just for that exact reason because you can't have three of the arguably the top five best players in the world in the same team and just you can put you can get 12 more guys off the streets to put them on the bench and
Yeah,
two more to start lapping, you'll win. So I mean, it'll be no fun, but yeah, I truly think he's gonna stay in Toronto because it just seems like a perfect situation for him. He go there for 1 year, win a championship, and it's just a perfect fit. And I just don't see Kawhi as being that guy. That's like you said, he's
yeah.
been yeah, he's been trying to avoid the cameras and the star. Even though Toronto kind of blew all that up today, but he's been trying to avoid all that, trying to be that guy that feels like he needs help, and he's the guy in Toronto. He's the guy for an entire country, basically. So it's a perfect situation for him.
I just can't see him enjoying the LA um like scrutiny. That team loses one games and they're gonna be on their
Mm-hmm.
ass.
Mm-hmm.
I
Exactly.
don't. I can't see him liking that. The media frenzy that it would be every practice, every day, following him around.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a little more tempered on the Clippers, but also then you're dealing with LeBron. So they start like 5-5. They're going to be calling for who did they get his coach? Frank Vogel. Yeah, they're going to be calling for his head. They're going to be questioning why it's not working. They're going to be questioning this, questioning that, and he just want to go out there and play basketball. So I could see it fitting on the Clippers maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but I just hope it's not the Lakers. And
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that this dragging out is making better, the Lakers are missing out on more and more people.
Exactly.
So that's cool too.
But
Lakers fans, I hate you. Knicks fans, I hate you. Celtics fans, I hate you. I'm mad about Kemba going there. Kemba been one of my favorite players since you.
mm-hmm.
Now I gotta watch him in that ugly little green. Anyways, not a bunch of crazy moves so far, but what would you say is the most surprising move that you've seen?
um. Well, hang on. I'll go. Dougie said Kawhi's won't come to the Hawks secretly. He's what he's saying. Um. But the surprise move was definitely a D'Angelo Russell move. I did not see that one coming whatsoever. Um, and well, I didn't see it coming before in time, but then Windhorst, right when Durant signed with Brooklyn, Windhorst came, or right, Windhorst said that this could be a potential scenario where it's a sign trade involving D'Angelo Russell, Kevin Durant. But I was surprised by Rubio going to the Suns because he heard all along leading up to 6 o'clock on July 1st or June 30th that he was going to the Pacers. And then right around about 2 hours after that, he was 51 3 year, $51 million deal with the Suns. So that kind of caught me off guard. And then then some trades that was pretty much that caught me. But those are the two surprising moves that I really didn't see coming whatsoever. And Horford, I guess, going to the 76ers, that wasn't talked about, but I never really put much into that. But then it actually happened. I figured it was going to go to the Mavericks or the Kings or something like that.
Yeah, Horford loves going to teams that seem like they're one of your biggest rivals and like paid for it. Yeah, Horford. Yeah, shout out to him. He's a good guy though. I'd have to go with Darren Collison retiring to be not Mormon. What's the other one? Jehovah Witness. Oh Lord! Apparently, it's in their clauses and belief that you cannot play sports professionally. So yeah, he's going to be Jehovah's Witness. All right, I whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Another one was I forgot his name, but someone kind of big. Didn't they sign overseas when they were looking?
Oh, Miritich.
Yeah, Nikola Mirotic. He
Hmm.
signed in one of those countries, and why? I don't understand. He was
Yep.
in line for like a $50 million
Yeah,
deal.
50 plus. But yeah, it was gonna be making some money.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Oh.
Oh well. Um, Hawks fans catch a lot of flack. They say our franchise sucks and this and that. But what we can always do is say, at least we're not the Suns. I saw some video that detailed their failures in the last 15 years, and it was absolutely mind boggling at some of the moves they've made. And they made another one today. Granted, Josh Jackson has had a lot of problems, but they basically salary dumped when they're not over the cap or
Hmm.
compete or anything. They basically salary dumped to um, Memphis or Utah.
Memphis. Yeah, Memphis.
And they got like Kyle Korver, who they're going to buy out, and one
Mhm.
other vet that's probably not going to stick. I don't understand. What they did on draft night was appalling. I just, uh, I feel bad for the fans personally. Like,
Hmm.
if you're a Suns fan and you go to the games and you have season tickets, shout out to you. You are a real one. Don't let anybody question your fandom ever. And
They get James Jones, their GM. Is that right?
I don't know who, but they need to be fired.
Yeah, it's not pretty over there. Like I saw that they have like was it a pick in the top 8 from 2013 to 2017. I don't think any of them are on the roster anymore. That's
I
bad.
don't know.
That's bad.
Oh man. Um, what's an unexpected move? What's a move that will really pay off that someone wouldn't really think about at first glance?
Well, unexpected. Like I said, I think the D'Angelo Russell one's going to pay off. I know. Because I can really, you know, people say he's a pick. Russell's a pick and roll kind of guy, but he can also really shoot the ball. I think him and Steph will gel perfectly together, and then Clay comes back at some point this year. That does add to it because Clay doesn't need the ball to be effective, and Steph he's at his best when he has the ball, but again he can still do some damage off the ball as well by spacing the floor for D'Angelo Russell to be able to drive and kick out to one of them. But um, that's one move I think was really going to pay off, and another one was who was it? Blazers got somebody. Who did the Blazers get? Oh my God, who? What didn't the Blazers sign a big man or something like that? Who was his name?
Um, oh, they got Whiteside.
Whiteside. Yeah, yeah. They needed a big force, big presence down low, even though they had a Cantor last year. But yeah, they needed. He's not going to be a guy that's going to close out fourth quarters for obvious reasons. He can't. He's not very good at free throw shooting, but he's a good defensive center, rim protector, that which they desperately need defense because Willard and McCollum are not going to stop anybody on the perimeter. So
Yeah.
it'll slow them down getting to the rim. So I feel that's going to be a make them Portland's. Yeah, they're going to be a potential contender next year if Kawhi stays in Toronto.
Yeah, I like the Kent Bazemore move for Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I like the. Now they're going to miss out Horford, but I like the Kemba move. I think the Celtics will still win 50 games next year. I think Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum will have a resurgent season, and I think Kemba Walker, of course, will be an all-star, and he'll get a lot more attention being in Boston. And if they win a few games, he might be in that MVP conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I just hate he had to go there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our Hawks. So, no signings yet. You see a little people antsy, the ones that don't know the game, the ones that the idiots out there. There's plenty of them. This was to be expected, and there's nothing wrong with that. prize. Not why go out there and spend money just to spend it. We're not a contender. We're probably not going to make the playoffs next year. Why go out there and just do stuff to do it? No, we have a plan in place. We know what we're doing. We made some great trades on the draft night. We drafted some players that are probably going to be very great. There's no need. Don't You can't rush the process, and otherwise you end up like Minnesota or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But right now we are one of the only teams with substantial cap space left. We have about 13 million, and we have two roster spots. That was one roster spot, but we packaged Plumlee and Solomon Hill, and we sent them to Memphis for that boy Chandler Parsons. Yeah, y'all remember him. A thief in the night. He's played like 90 games in the last
Mm-hmm.
years, making $25 million a year. But actually, I pulled up his numbers earlier. Um, he actually, down the stretch, March and April, he was okay last season. The shooting was better. He was scoring a little more consistently. It was like 11 points per game in his last 10 games on over 40% from three. So I mean, he might get bought out, but who knows? But you didn't lose anything. You saved 600,000 and you got an extra roster spot. So there was nobody out there left that we were going to pay 13 million or anything like that. So I like the move. Hopefully this means we can bring back Vince Carter, but also um, a quick story about Plumlee for those who don't realize. Yeah, he was playing okay. Well, he was playing better than the year before to start the season, and then he was out with a sore knee. He was like day to day for 4 months, and then he had knee surgery in like March. So I don't know what happened between November and March. Why he didn't go ahead and have the surgery as soon as he could, but he had it, and he played like 10 games last year and got paid $12.5 million. Man, that sounds pretty fun. You got more than
Oh,
a
for
million
sure.
per appearance. Um, so we open up that second roster spot. Hopefully, one for Vince, and then maybe a center.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. There's not a lot of names out there. People are insisting that we kick the tires on Boogie, but our good coverage reporter from the Athletic, go get your subscription. It's 50% off right now. Chris Kirshner said that there is no interest from the Hawks on Boogie Cousins. I don't really blame them, but at this point, I wouldn't kick the tires. I would kick the tires on him. See what he says, see where his head is at, give him a call. You have nothing to lose, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah.
next year we will have over $80 million in cap space right now. That sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Oh,
Not
for
so
sure.
fast. Um, the list, well, it isn't too good. So you have Anthony Davis with a player option. He's staying in LA. Ben Simmons, he's
Get the
extended.
extension.
Pascal Siakam, he's restricted. He's probably going to be extended.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green, he ain't coming here. Brandon Ingram, he'll be restricted. That could be interesting. Jalen Brown, he'll probably extend. Kyle Lowry,
He's not leaving.
50. DeMar DeRozan, player option. Otto Porter, player option. He'll probably pick that up.
Oh, for sure.
Buddy Hield will be restricted. Um, I'm pretty sure they'll extend him. Danilo Gallinari, he's like 50. Um, yeah, Andre Drummond has a player option. I'm not crazy about him. Goran Dragic,
Mhm.
come on. Gordon Hayward has a player option. Obviously, we'll pick
Yep.
that up.
Yep.
Karis LeVert will be restricted. Hey, that's intriguing. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn will have the money to keep him. Bogdan Bogdanovic restricted. Yeah, who knows? Deontay Murray, he's a point guard. Derek Favors will be unrestricted. So, or didn't they? Never mind. They bought him out and he signed somewhere, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Wait, no, Favors?
Favors, yeah, I don't know, somebody. Montrezl Harrell, Demonis Sabonis, he'll be restricted. Fred Van Vliet, uh,
They'll get paid,
Paul
though. People get
Millsap,
paid.
Serge Ibaka, Jay Crowder. So as you see, the
Mm-hmm.
names already aren't very good.
Mm-mm.
Hassan Whiteside, Jet Lee, Dario Saric, Nicholas Batum. Yeah, yeah. Torian Prince. So the crop isn't looking too good.
No, not very good.
We can try to, maybe make some trades and try to convince some people on 1 year deals. But what we're just gonna have to try to get to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
2021 is that year that
Mm-hmm.
we want to really be in there. Let's run through this list real quick. Well, yeah, some of these, yeah, they're not coming. Chris Paul, LeBron, Blake Griffin, Paul George, Gordon Hayward, Mike Conley, DeMar DeRozan, C.J. McCollum, Otto Porter Jr., Rudy Gobert, Bradley Beal, Andre Drummond, Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Mm-hmm.
Steven Adams, Victor Oladipo, Julius Randle, Fournier. So you got a whole bunch that year. JJ Redick again. So 2021 is where we need to be setting our sights as Hawks fans.
Potentially Kawhi Leonard too. If he signs that 2 year deal has been
Because
reported.
I think Kawhi will be signing a short-term deal
I think so
wherever
too.
he does go.
Mm-hmm.
So can this Hawks team make the playoffs? I see a lot of people saying that it should be expected or really hyped that we're going to make it. I caution them to hit the brakes hard. Um, this team won 29 games this year, and yes, Kent Bazemore wasn't the greatest. Yes, Torian Prince wasn't the greatest, but they're not here anymore. It's along with Dwayne Dedman, so that's a lot to make up for. Yeah, you got these new rookies in here, but it's going to take time. It's not going to be as easy. I guarantee you, it's not going to be as easy of a transition as we've gotten lucky with the last 2 years with Kevin Herter, Trey Young, and John Collins in their rookie years, respectively, and even Torian Prince now stretching his rookie year. It's not going to be that easy. I guarantee it. We're not going to get lucky this many times in a row. And that's not saying that Bruno Hunter and Cam Reddish aren't going to be fine players and have fine rookie seasons, but temper your expectations. The East is pretty deep right now. Me personally, I have us maybe 10th, winning about 35 games. I know a lot of people would act like that's murder, but it's a process. Um, it's going to take some time. I think they can make the playoffs, but I don't expect them to make the playoffs. And I'm going to go in there with an open mind and have fun like last season with no expectations. What about you?
Yeah, I know. Me and you had a little discussion about this earlier about me. I said the Hawks on the roster was a little bit better than the Heat and Magic, but I feel like the expectations. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, don't expect to go to the playoffs, but like I feel like the Braves team from last year kind of got this city in a where raising expectations for young teams like the Hawks are going to be because if the Braves can do it a year early, then why can't the Hawks do it? And I'm not saying the Hawks are going to be a playoff team, and what year would that be? 2021 season, but yeah, this I feel like that it's going to be 38 to 41 wins. I feel like is bottom line of what I feel like if you get that, you give yourself a chance to win the playoffs this upcoming year. But like you said, we won 29 games and we lost 3 guys, but who knows who? Yeah, you said who knows how the rookies going to be like? Who knows how Trey and John Collins? Who knows how they're going to improve? And who knows how we're going to fill these last 2 roster spots? So again, I hope one's for Vince Carter, like you said, because we need his leadership, especially with Bazemore gone. We got Evan Turner and Alan Crabb, and they're veterans, but we need a guy that's been in the locker room before and
Yeah,
know the guys a little bit. But with, yeah, I would, like you said, I'll go in no expectations like last year. Like last year, I thought we were going to be just awful, especially because we're worried about Trey Young, and we saw the summer league. We're like, oh my god, this is going to be an awful year. And then first month happens, he was not doing good. And then John Collins comes back, and all of a sudden we were close to we were about win percentage was like 440 or something like that when John Collins came back. So hovered around just a little bit below 500.
yeah,
So I mean, I'm not going to say we're going to be 500 or better next year, but I feel like we can keep that. I feel like we can be around 38, 39 wins. I feel like I'll be the ceiling probably, but I don't know. I feel like it'll be a safe number to put it on.
yeah. it's going to be a process. It's not going to be great. I think we'll be a great offensive team, but we're going to struggle defensively again. Hunter, of course, is a defensive guy, and then what our second best player is maybe DeAndre Bembry. So that's after that, it's a drop off. We're very thin up front. It's basically just Len and Omari. So yeah,
He need a big bad, very bad because I'm not going to trot out Alex Lynn and a rookie and Amari Spellman who was hurt for half the year last year, and so that's need to add some sort of big and a quality big at that. Like I don't know, like you said, we talked about Boogie and go get Boogie, but I was talking to my friend earlier. I was like, he's a great player when he's, of course, when he's healthy, and year off the Achilles, he should be close. Now I'm not gonna say he's gonna be his old self, but he should be a little bit better than he was last year. And but like you said, I don't know how he would fit, and I don't like. He's never been a locker room. Well, I call him locker room cancer. That I sat down and thought about. Like he really, he's like I don't know. Like he can't. I know he had some of those hookups now and then, but he's never been like a so-called like Dwight Howard. He's been like a diva everywhere he's went. But you saw him in the Draymond Green Kevin Durant situation. He was breaking up the little, trying to calm down Draymond Green and all that. So maybe he's matured and changed a little bit. I don't know, but like I said, I don't know how it would fit with a young group of guys like Trey Young and John Collins. But but we do need a big man regardless of who it is.
yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we're at the floor, so we don't have to sign anybody. We can go in with less than, and then scour the G League later. Call somebody up, and convert one of our two ways. So you convert Charlie Brown. Good. Let's throw out some Trey Young and John Collins stat line projection, and also y'all in the YouTube chat, go ahead and throw us your John Collins and Trey Young stat line prediction. I'm gonna go with 20 and 10 for both of them. I think John Collins will be like 20.2 points and 10.1 rebounds, and then Trey Young will be like 21 points and right around 10 assists. Be interesting to go through some archives and see who all anywhere has had a pair of teammates at both average 20 and 10. I think that'd be a good accomplishment.
Yeah, I'm with you there on John Collins. I feel like he's gonna go 20 and 10 as well. With Trey Young, I feel like he'll be around that 22 and I don't say I'll give him about 22 and 8 because I don't know how we're gonna fill the rest. Like I said, I feel like we're still missing some outside shooting a little bit to kind of space the floor. I know we had Crab's a good, decent little shooter. Turner is not a good shooter. Which we can bring Vince Carter back. He was felt like every shot he was throwing up last year was going in at some games. But yeah, I'll go 22 and 8 for Trey Young. But yeah, John Collins going 20 and 10 in his third year. For a big man in this day and age, that's impressive. And if hopefully he gets a little bit better on defensive end, where he'll really start turning a corner and him and Trey start making some noise together. And hopefully those two guys gonna be what are gonna be. If we can keep John Collins long term, those two guys are gonna what attracts big name free agents like in 2021 to come want to play with them.
So we'll see. I'm excited. Moving on out of the NBA, let's talk about a little bit of our Atlanta Braves. Tough loss last night and Sunday night, but the team absolutely tore it up in the month of June. Had one of the best months offensively in MLB, modern MLB history. Team is actually really balling. They're gelling. And I'd say if they had some pitching, they'd be up there with the Dodgers as the best team in the league right now.
It's just the pitching has been so hit or miss. It's like we go through a stretch where the bullpen and start or the bullpen's on fire. Then we go through a stretch where start pitches on fire, but neither one of them are really gelling at the same time. I know tonight it's looking good. I mean Wilson, I wasn't expecting much out of this start. He 6 strong innings. He gave up 2 runs in a 6, but I mean, there's nothing wrong. He had a great outing. But yeah, the pitching is kind of what's been slowing them down a little bit. Of course, that will help. Like last night, not scoring any runs. That's not going to help out any. But like I said, I feel like they're just one starter away, and of course another relief pitcher away. I saw that massive Bumgarner Will Smith trade on MLB Network, and I about threw up when I saw we were trading Posh, Anderson, and Allard. As any trade, including or Pache, is I guess how you say it is. I'm not doing it, or especially if it includes a guy like Ian Anderson just threw a no or a combined for a no hitter. That's just I'm not doing that. There's top pitching prospect and one of the top prospects overall in baseball in Pache, and the best glove in the minors by a long shot. But yeah, that's back to right now. They're like I said, they're up 9-2 right now, and Donaldson can kind of get back going again, like he was there towards in the month or in the month of June. We get going, and Markakis is starting to heat up a little bit, and he had a good game last night. One of the few that did, and Albies is starting to heat up too. He had a big month last month as well. All the offense did, and of course you got Freeman putting up MVP numbers. You got Riley who just hit a home run off a slider tonight. That it seems like he been striking out a lot of those sliders. He sent one about 430 feet tonight into the left center field. But yeah, we get the pit bullpen and the starters start gelling together at the same time. Where they're both not one hot, one cold. You said they'll be up there with the Dodgers. I feel like.
Yeah. So very exciting times right now for our Atlanta Braves. Get down there to SunTrust Park. Check them out. Crowds have been very good lately. Attendance, I think we're knocking on the top 10 in the league right now. A few years ago, that seemed like a faraway dream to keep balling, and hopefully we can ride this all the way to October. We got to get some more pitching up.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
Well,
Fultonavich and Gosman, that I wouldn't have guessed those two struggling how they have this year. But yeah, like you said, we need another starter. I really don't want Bumgarner. I really want Marcus Stroman. You can play on cost a little. Well, I don't know. Bumgarner is getting so an overrated price right now, but if we can get Stroman without giving up Anderson or Pache's not going anywhere, it's Drew Waters or something like that, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I really like his energy. I feel like he's a good young pitcher. He would feel like he'll be a perfect fit in the locker room with Acuna and all those guys. He's energetic. He's goofy and silly like Acuna and Albies are, and Camargo. That would be a perfect fit. That's what I want. It's Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's the end of our good news. Let's talk about our two step teams that are bringing the bad news right now. We'll start with our Atlanta Dream, 2-9. Nobody really saw this start coming, even without Angel. They finished the season so high last year, made it to the conference finals. It just hasn't been working for them this year. They're just looking inept on offense. They're competing most of the game, but there's one quarter that they just fall apart. And WNBA season is short, only 34 games, so they're running out of time. They really have to get this thing going, otherwise it's going to be too late. And please, guys, go out there and support the Dream. Attendance this year has been putrid. It looks even worse since we're in the real arena now. And the team, it's a good brand of basketball. They really try. Nick Collins seems like a great coach, great person to be around. But something is just not working. But they still have 23 more games, and 8 out of 12 teams in the WNBA make the playoffs. So anything is possible. Atlanta United, they play Sunday. That's all I'm gonna say. They didn't play today, right? There's no games. What do you mean it's 5-0 at halftime? What? Yep. Yeah, they're down 5-0 at halftime to Chicago. Actually, they just scored. They're 5-1. Wow. Yeah. Terrible. But obviously they're looking ahead. Sunday rivalry match against Red Bulls. Joseph will be back. 70,000 at the Benz. Yeah. Speaking of soccer, though, World Cup final for the women's USA versus Netherlands, 11 a.m. on Sunday, and it will be shown in the men's before the game. So if you have a ticket, head on down there. Doors will open at 10:30, and they'll show it on the Halo board like they did for the World Cup final last year. I was over there. It was a pretty cool experience. So make sure you guys check that out. Root on are the best team in the country, better than the men, of course. I know you don't know something funny. The U.S. women's national team has more followers on Twitter than the U.S.
Man.
men's national. I thought that was pretty interesting. But um, one last thing before we head on out of here, we had a fan question from our good friend Doug, who supports us every single show, day in day out. Every show we do, it doesn't matter when we do it, unannounced, announced, pop up, makeup, missed. He's always there supporting us, and we definitely appreciate that. He asked, which veteran player not named Vince Carter should the Hawks sign to help mentor our young players? We'll start with you, Brad.
That's actually a really good question here because I was scanning the free agent list and I was like, well, realistically, you could probably think of a guy like, I mean, if I wanted to go like just Prayer or something like that, I would say like Danny Green or Jamal Crawford, one of those two. But if you want to, I think this guy's right. Tabo Cephalosha,
Mm-hmm.
he's a guy. I'm pretty sure he's still available. Yeah, that's definitely a good veteran guy. Kind of, he's exactly like Vince Carter, but again, he's also a guy, a good defensive player. You can throw out there. Of course, he's been in Atlanta before. We all know about his time here in Atlanta. That's a guy I would definitely look at. Or if you want to go with a veteran big, you can go with a guy like see here. How do I pull it up here? Oh, you can go with Nene. He's been in the league for about 45 years. It seems like, but he's not going to do much anything for you. But he's a good veteran. He's keeps to himself. He's going to mentor the young guys. He's Houston thought a lot of him when he was there the past couple years. But he's just a solid player. He's good defensive guy, good rebounder, and that's a guy I would. Those are two guys I would look at. They're big time veterans, have been in the league for a while, and those are two guys if I had to choose besides Vince would be one of those two.
Yeah, if other than Vince Carter, I wouldn't waste any time or money on another vet. I don't know if anybody's willing to come to a losing situation again like this, other than Vince Carter. So I would go young. I'd go for a young center. Well, I don't know really who's out there, but I'm going young if we don't get Vince Carter, and I'm relying on Evan Turner and some of our older young guys to really help guide the way. We're going to be a very young team. Losing Deadman really hurts, I think. So who knows? If I just really hope we can resign Vince Carter.
You need him bad. You need Vince Carter. I don't care. You just need some center. I don't care who it is. I don't care
I
how
mean,
just get one. Just be a center bad in the worst way possible.
I like Alex Lynn, but yeah, yeah, he can start,
Yeah,
but he can be a starter, but he can only play about 25 minutes a night.
yeah, he's gonna drive me insane. If he plays more than that because he cost Trae Young at least 2 assists a game last year. It seemed like because he couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah,
Uh,
but make sure you guys catch up with the All Star game next year. It's going to be littered with Braves players, and the Braves are in the thick of the All Star. So where is that? It's in Cleveland. So
Cleveland, yep,
weather should
Cleveland,
be pretty decent. But hopefully, Ronald Acuna in the home run.
home run,
So
yep, in a home
hopefully
run derby.
make us home a trophy, and hopefully we can raise a beer trophy in November. That's
Yeah,
all we got for you guys tonight. I hope everybody enjoys their holiday. However you celebrate or not celebrate the Fourth, at least you have a day off from work. So that's all I care about. Thank you guys for tuning in to the HQ Live Show 28. Um, make sure you guys check out the Big Three on Sunday, 1 o'clock in Atlanta. Joe Johnson, Josh Smith, Josh Childress. I don't know if Josh Smith is on a team coming, but check them out this Sunday. Good chance to see a different brand of basketball than you used to. Round three, half court. It seems pretty entertaining. Fortunately, I won't be there. I can't miss United Red Bull. But if there was any other time, I would be there. Hopefully, they come back next year and I'll catch them. But thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and rate and share. We definitely appreciate that. Follow us on Twitter and keep up with our website. And we'll catch you guys next week. Have a great evening.